Hello everyone, and welcome to another Crumpets Tea and Sewing video. I am T, and in today's video I am going to be sharing with you my simple tricks and tips on what I use to trace and draft my pattern pieces. So stay tuned if you want to know a little bit more about tracing and drafting pattern pieces on a budget.
Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to my channel. My name is Tamika Ray Grover and this is my channel, Crumpets Tea and Sewing.
Tracing pattern pieces and drafting them can be very expensive. I always try to go with less expensive options. Okay, so my number one choice for drafting and tracing pattern pieces is this non-stick paper. It's parchment paper, and I just get the very cheap, inexpensive parchment paper from Walmart. It's the Great Value brand. For one, it's very inexpensive, and you can get anywhere from 60 to 100 square feet of it for $3 to $4. And secondly, it's transparent, which allows you to trace the markings from the pattern pieces onto the parchment paper. My second choice for tracing and drafting paper is this sewable interfacing. It has grid lines on it, which makes it easy for your markings on it, and it's just very wonderful. I also like it because you can sew it, and so I can use it as a mock-up later after the pattern pieces are cut out. However, this can be an expensive option if you pay full price for it. Generally, I use a 60% off coupon, or I wait until it goes on sale. That way I can get 15 yards for about $15 to $20, and it comes on a bulk. Otherwise, you would be spending about $3 to $3.99 a yard, and that would be very expensive. It would not be an ideal choice for mini sewists. The third and inexpensive option that I like to go with for tracing and drafting my pattern pieces are brown paper bags. Generally, I go to the grocery store, I buy something, and then I will use the brown paper bags to trace my pattern pieces later, and I will save them. I try not to put anything wet or anything fragile in the bag, so that way it won't leak, or any kind of perishable items that may have liquid in them, and that way I can preserve the bag and I can use it later. The drawback to using a brown paper bag is that it's not traceable. Because it's not transparent, you can't trace the pattern pieces directly. You have to use it as a drafting paper, but it's still very ideal. Besides these three options, there is a fourth option that I like to go with, and I usually buy it maybe once or twice a year. I usually don't buy it that often. It is sewable Swedish tracing paper. And so it's similar in texture to this sewable interfacing that I purchased from Joann's, but it's a little bit more lightweight, and it's more of a mesh type fabric, and it's very nice. It doesn't stretch, but it can be quite expensive. It's $15 for the roll, and although the rolls last quite a long time, it's just not, you're not going to get it for $1 or $1.50 a yard like you would if you were to use a 60% off coupon for the sewable interfacing at Joann's. It would be more like $3 or $4 a yard, and so it is more expensive, but it does have its purposes as well. Like I said, it doesn't stretch out and it holds up very well. With the sewable interfacing, generally you can only use it one time. the pattern pieces tend to fall apart, especially if you're sewing them and you're puncturing holes in the material. It just doesn't hold up as well, but it is an ideal choice because it's inexpensive and you're not paying $6 or $7 for traceable paper at an art supply store, because those could be really expensive. And so these are some inexpensive options. Like I said, this parchment paper is my first choice. It's not as transparent as I would like it to be, but it gets the job done. And as you can see the lines from the brown paper bag through here. And so it is very ideal, and it's a great starting point if you are a new or beginning sewer, and it's just fabulous. So those are my tips for how to trace and draft pattern pieces on a budget, and I will put a link to the Swedish sewable interfacing in the description box below so that you can check that out yourself and see if that is something that you would like to try. I have found that it is beneficial. I will also put the other items in the description box below as well. Thank you for watching the channel, and for all of you who are new and existing subscribers, thank you for supporting the channel. And for those of you who have not subscribed yet, I would encourage you to do so if you wish to get future notifications on simple sewing tips like these, or pattern hauls, pattern reviews, and some mini tutorials.